When we finally got the go-ahead to do the mid-engine Corvette, we were so excited, a little bit nervous, but really completely confident that we were doing the right thing. We were a little nervous because the daunting work was really just beginning. It was going to be a long road, a very difficult challenge, but we knew we had the right formula in place. It was so gratifying because we actually spent years working on the ideas, the technical ideas behind the car, but also internally, the salesmanship inside the company to convince everybody that we were doing the right thing to change from our comfort zone, 60 some years of front engine Corvettes, putting the engine in the back. A lot of people thought, wow, that's very risky. And it's true, it's a little risky, but we were absolutely confident we were doing the right thing. We're a little nervous because it's challenging and we didn't want to let our customers down. We wanted to make sure they had a car they would absolutely love, and we didn't want our leadership down that we had made the wrong decision. There were so many challenges moving the engine to the back of the car. We really wanted to take all the things that were great about prior generations Corvette and make sure we kept those, even though we were moving the engine. So we had to think about a lot of different things, like how to get good luggage room. And we've had removable roofs, even on the coupe, since the fourth generation car. Where are we going to put that? We didn't want to make people actually have to leave the roof at home, so it had to be storable on board the vehicle. We knew we had to find a transmission that could meet all our needs, our torque, our engine speed, the power that we'd have, and fit in the package that we were developing. Then how do we manage all the thermal loads? It's very, very different when the engine is in the back versus in the front. And then we had to think about convertibles. We knew we wanted to do a folding hardtop, which is a very difficult design to package, and it wants to go right where the engine is and right where the heat is. So that was an enormous challenge. Body structure changes completely. We've kind of made a name for ourselves in the automotive world with very stiff, lightweight, open air. All Corvettes are convertibles essentially. And so how do we design that? The folding hardtop on the convertible, it was a big challenge because of the rigid panels and the way they had to fold down and put them underneath the bodywork. Just so many things. There were these and many, many others. It is true on a vehicle program, not just Corvettes, but most vehicle programs. You have a bunch of new ideas, you incorporate those into a car, and you actually take a step back and you have to develop the car to be superior to the car it's replacing. Unusually, very atypically, the C8, its benefits were noticeable from the very first prototype. Moving that weight to the back helped us so much with vehicle dynamics, being able to put power to the ground. The very first prototype, the very first drive, we could tell it was better in that way, and it only got even better as we developed the vehicle towards production. I first realized we were really onto something the first time when I drove the prototypes at speed on a tight circuit. That's where we really noticed the benefits of the weight distribution. After almost 3 decades of familiarity with our 50-50 weight distribution cars, the way the new car turned into a corner and could put power down coming out was a revelation. Completely responsive and hooked up unlike any Corvette I have ever driven. One of the big benefits of moving to the engine to the back means the vehicle's center of gravity is right under your seat. In the car with the engine in the front, that center of gravity is way forward of you. And so the vehicle dynamics are enormously affected. When you're sitting right on the center of gravity, what that means is the whole vehicle turns around you. So it gives really crisp response to the steering. Also, it's astonishing how stable the car is at the limit. Even non-professional drivers can drive right up to the limit and feel very, very comfortable. And then the surprising thing is the ride quality is so much better. When you sit on the center of gravity, you're very far away from the 4 corners of the vehicle where the wheels are feeling the road imperfections. And so you feel much less at the driver's seat. It's really remarkable how comfortable this car is to drive. When we moved the engine to the back, we actually moved the cabin forward over 400 millimeters, and that drove many, many changes about where we were able to package components. With the engine in the back, we wanted to move heavy items forward to try to balance the weight. So the battery, which used to be in the back when the engine was in the front, is now forward under the hood. The most challenging part of the engineering was lowering all of the interior and exterior components to enable spectacular forward vision. Removing the engine in and of itself helps, but it would have been easiest for the engineering team just to leave the hood, cowl, wipers, top of the instrument panel as high as it was on previous Corvettes. We worked really hard to enable that feeling of being able to see the road just ahead of your feet, kind of like sitting in the front of a jet fighter. When we started the program to move the engine to the back, that was a huge challenge. But in the back of our mind, even though we'd sold Corvettes globally in left-hand drive configuration, we aspired to making the car truly global, and that meant doing a right-hand drive version. Moving the engine to the back takes some content out of the front and actually makes right-hand drive easier, but not easy at all. Corvette, unlike our competitors who offer left and right-hand drive, Corvette traditionally offers an asymmetrical, very driver-focused interior. As a result, we couldn't simply translate the steering wheel over to the other side of the vehicle. We elected not to dumb down or simplify our interior, but stepped up to the retooling that was needed for all of the components in the symmetrically opposite shape. This way, our right-hand drive customers get the exact same driving experience as our left-hand drive customers. We've been working with the race team for 20 years, and as usual with this program, we worked with them very closely, right from the beginning. Our front engine racers put great effort into moving weight bias rearward even though the engine remained forward. The race team's expertise on vehicle dynamics helped us navigate the major change and contributed us to having such good dynamic performance on our very first attempt at this type of architecture. Honestly, there was a lot of people who did not believe we could make such a big change, such a fundamental change, and still have a vehicle that reminded people, that spoke to people as a Corvette. The biggest reason we were able to achieve that is that we had a team that had worked very closely together on the 7th generation car. All those key people stayed in place as we immediately turned our attention to the C8. We have people that are passionate about Corvette, who understand what customers want, and work really hard and well together to achieve what was needed in the face of such a big change. We've sold Corvettes for a number of generations in left-hand drive form in Japan. We've always aspired to offering right-hand drive, so it would be a more natural fit in the market. And we're very, very happy we're able to do that and offer the full North American performance and driving experience. There are other minor specification differences for the Japanese market. For example, our voice commands are now available in Japanese, so we're really happy and proud to be able to offer this. There are so many things I'm proud that the team was able to achieve on this new Corvette. Probably foremost among them was the ability to execute this radical new architecture to such a high standard on our very first attempt, and been able to blend traditional Corvette strengths with exotic driving attributes. We're super proud of the Stingray and how it turned out, but I have to tell you, it is only the beginning.